Imagine for a moment that you are walking through life carrying a backpack. Every negative word, every insult, every manipulation from toxic people is like a heavy stone dropped inside that bag. With time, the load becomes unbearable. But here's the truth: the weight is not theirs, it's yours because you chose to carry it. Every single day, we encounter people whose words, actions, or attitudes have the power to influence how we feel. Some of those influences are uplifting and encouraging, but others can be toxic, draining, or downright destructive. The natural human tendency is to believe that our emotions are a direct result of what others say or do. If someone insults us, we feel hurt. If someone criticizes us unfairly, we feel angry. If someone ignores us, we feel invisible. But here lies the great misunderstanding: other people cannot control your inner world unless you give them permission. The truth is simple yet life-changing. You control what enters your mind, not how others behave. Think about it like this: your mind is like a house. The doors and windows are your attention. Toxic people may knock on the door with negativity, judgment, or manipulation, but you are the one who decides whether to open that door and let them in. Too often, we hand over the keys of our mental house to others without realizing it. We allow them to occupy our thoughts, disturb our peace, and dictate our emotions. And the more we give them access, the more they control how we feel. Now imagine the shift that happens when you finally realize that the keys belong only to you. No matter how loud someone knocks, you don't have to open. No matter how much poison someone throws, you don't have to drink it. Their behavior may be beyond your control, but your mind is fully within your control. This awareness alone can transform your life. Of course, this doesn't mean you become numb or indifferent. It doesn't mean you stop caring about people or ignore your relationships. What it does mean is that you build a healthy boundary between what happens outside of you and what you allow to grow inside of you. Think of it like having a mental filter. Just as you filter the water you drink to protect your body, you must filter the words, energies, and influences around you to protect your mind. Let's take an example. Imagine a co-worker constantly making sarcastic remarks about your performance. Your initial impulse may be to get defensive, to argue, or to internalize the negativity and think, maybe I'm not good enough. But here's where the mental shift comes in. Instead of absorbing their behavior, you step back and remind yourself, I cannot control their mouth, but I can control my mind. Their words do not define me unless I allow them to. At that very moment, you've taken back your power. This principle applies not just at work, but in every area of life. In relationships, toxic individuals may try to guilt trip you, manipulate you, or make you feel small. But remember, you are not obligated to host their negativity in your mental space. You always have the choice to detach, to walk away, or simply to not take their words personally. The greatest freedom you can ever experience is the freedom from being controlled by others' behavior. When you realize that your emotions are shaped by what you accept into your mind, not by what others try to impose, you become unshackable. Imagine living in a world where criticism doesn't crush you, insults don't define you, and toxic people can no longer dictate your peace of mind. That is what happens when you master this mental shift. So the next time someone tries to throw negativity your way, pause and remind yourself, I am the gatekeeper of my mind. Their behavior may belong to them, but your peace belongs to you. Protect it fiercely. Because the moment you stop giving others the power to decide how you feel, you become unstoppable. One of the most draining experiences in life is dealing with toxic people. They can be loud or subtle, aggressive or manipulative, but they all have one thing in common: they thrive on your reaction. When you get angry, they win. When you argue, they win. When you cry or feel defeated, they win. Their power doesn't actually come from who they are, it comes from how much energy you give them. This is the shift. Toxic people lose their power the moment you stop reacting. Think of it like this: toxic people are performers, and they need an audience. If nobody claps, if nobody laughs, if nobody boos, the performance dies. In the same way, when you refuse to engage in their drama, their script collapses. Their control is an illusion, and it only works when you feed it with your attention. Let's break it down. Imagine someone insults you in public, expecting you to get upset, to shout back, or to feel embarrassed. That reaction is their fuel. But when you respond with calmness, or even better, with silence and a steady presence, you take away the fuel. They may still throw words at you, but it's like striking a match in the rain. There's no fire. Now, This doesn't mean ignoring every problem or never standing up for yourself. It means choosing your response consciously instead of reacting impulsively. There's a difference. Reaction is emotional and automatic. It's what they want. Response is thoughtful and intentional. It's what gives you control. Think about an argument with a toxic partner, family member, or coworker. The more you yell back, the more the argument escalates. But the moment you stop feeding it with energy, the cycle breaks. Sometimes, walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. Silence can be louder than any words. Boundaries can speak stronger than any defense. Here's the key. Toxic people are like parasites of energy. They need emotional chaos to survive. When you stay calm, when you refuse to give them what they want, they feel powerless. Over time, they may even stop targeting you because they realize they can't get the reaction they crave. Let me give you a mental image. Imagine holding a rope in a tug of war. The toxic person is pulling on one side and you're pulling on the other. The harder you pull, the harder they pull. But the moment you let go of the rope, the game ends. They fall, not because you fought harder, but because you refused to play. This is the essence of inner strength, choosing peace over provocation. It's about realizing that not every battle deserves your energy, not every insult deserves your answer, and not every toxic person deserves space in your mind. Of course, this shift takes practice. Our natural instinct is to defend ourselves, to prove we're right, to fight back. But remember, toxic people are experts at baiting. They will use words, guilt, anger, even fake kindness to trigger you. The more you practice emotional self-control, the more untouchable you become. Imagine how free your life could feel if no one's negativity could push your buttons. Imagine walking through your day with peace, knowing that your emotions are yours alone, not puppets on someone else's strings. That is the power of not reacting. So the next time a toxic person tries to provoke you, pause, take a breath, remind yourself, they only win if I react. I win when I stay calm. And in that moment, you've already taken back your power, because the truth is, toxic people don't destroy your peace. You give it away when you react. Hold your peace, and they lose their grip. When most people hear the word detachment, they think of coldness, indifference, or running away from responsibility. But that is a misunderstanding. True detachment is not about caring less. It's about caring in a healthy way. It's about creating space between you and the chaos around you so you can see clearly and act wisely. And here's the truth: detachment is not weakness, it is strength. Think about the strongest people you know. Are they the ones who explode in anger at every insult? Are they the ones who panic at every challenge? Or are they the ones who remain calm, steady, and composed, even in the storm? Real strength is not loud, it's quiet. It's the ability to stay centered when the world around you is trying to pull you off balance. A detachment is that strength. It's the ability to say, I will not let your chaos become my chaos. It's the power to step back, observe the situation, and choose your response instead of being dragged into emotional battles. Imagine being in a room where someone is shouting and throwing negativity everywhere. Most people get caught in the storm, shouting back or feeling crushed. But detachment allows you to step back mentally and say, this is their storm, not mine. You watch it without getting soaked. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Some people think detachment means avoiding emotions, but the opposite is true. Detachment gives you the space to feel emotions without being controlled by them. Anger may come, sadness may come, but with detachment you don't drown. You learn to surf the wave. You allow yourself to feel, but you don't let those feelings dictate your peace. In relationships, detachment is crucial. Toxic people often use emotional hooks, guilt, manipulation, drama to keep you tied to them. Without detachment, you get pulled into their games, sacrificing your happiness just to keep the peace. But when you develop detachment, you can love someone without losing yourself. You can say no without guilt. You can set boundaries without fear, and you can walk away when necessary without feeling broken. Think of detachment like a warrior's armor. Life will throw arrows of criticism, rejection, and negativity. Without armor, you're wounded every time. With armor, the arrows bounce off. The warrior doesn't stop caring about the battle. He simply protects himself so he can fight wisely. Detachment also strengthens your decision-making. When you're attached to outcomes, you act from fear, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of judgment. But when you practice detachment, you free yourself from that fear. You do your best, you give your all, but you're not crushed if things don't go your way. You realize your worth doesn't depend on someone else's approval or on a single result. That's power. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you apply for a dream job. If you're attached, you'll feel desperate, anxious, and destroyed if you don't get it. If you're detached, you'll still prepare, still give your best, but you'll also know if it's not this, something better will come. The result doesn't control your peace. That's the kind of mindset that makes people unstoppable. So don't let anyone tell you that detachment is weakness. Weakness is being controlled by others' actions and emotions. Strength is knowing when to engage and when to step back. Strength is protecting your peace without apology. Remember this, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing toxic people and temporary problems to control your happiness. It is choosing to rise above instead of sinking below. And when you master this mental shift, you will realize just how strong you truly are. Life constantly presents us with choices, and often those choices are not about external events, but about how we respond to them. When confronted by toxic people, arguments, or manipulations, we're tempted to fight, to defend ourselves, to prove we are right. But the more we feed that fire, the bigger it grows. True wisdom lies in choosing differently, choosing silence over argument, peace over drama, and boundaries over guilt. Let's begin with silence. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of strength. Many believe silence means weakness, as if keeping quiet means surrender. But silence is not surrender, it is strategy. It is the refusal to waste your precious energy on battles that do not matter. An argument with a toxic person is like wrestling in the mud. No matter how hard you fight, you end up dirty. Silence, on the other hand, disarms them. They expect anger, they want a reaction, but when they meet calm silence, their power evaporates. Silence doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you choose not to say it in a space where your words will be twisted or wasted. Next comes peace over drama. Drama is the lifeblood of toxic individuals. They stir chaos, create conflict, and thrive on emotional storms. The more you feed into that chaos, the more it consumes you. But peace is your shield. Choosing peace doesn't mean avoiding problems. It means approaching problems with clarity and calm. When someone tries to pull you into drama, you have a choice. You can jump into the storm, or you can anchor yourself in peace. Imagine standing firm while the storm rages around you. Your calmness becomes your greatest weapon. Now let's talk about boundaries over guilt. Many of us struggle here because toxic people are masters of manipulation. They know how to press your emotional buttons, making you feel selfish for saying no, unkind for protecting yourself, or guilty for choosing your own happiness. But here's the truth: boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are doors that teach others how to treat you. Without boundaries, people will take until there's nothing left of you. With boundaries, you honor your worth. And if someone tries to make you feel guilty for protecting your peace, remember, your responsibility is not to keep others comfortable, it is to keep yourself healthy. Let me give you an example. Imagine a friend who constantly drains your energy with complaints and negativity. Every time you try to help, they pull you deeper into their drama. If you argue, the drama continues. If you try to fix everything, you lose your peace. But if you choose silence when they provoke, peace when they stir chaos, and firm boundaries when they push too far, you regain control. You don't abandon them, you simply stop sacrificing yourself in the process. These three choices, silence, peace, and boundaries, are acts of empowerment. They may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to always explaining yourself or trying to please others. But with practice, you'll discover their power. Silence protects your energy. Peace preserves your mental health. Boundaries honor your self-respect. Together, they form a shield that toxic people cannot penetrate. Remember, your life is too short to waste in endless arguments, unnecessary drama, and guilt that doesn't belong to you. Your energy is precious. Save it for the people and goals that uplift you. Let your silence speak louder than arguments. Let your peace outshine the drama. Let your boundaries remind the world that your happiness is not negotiable. So the next time someone tries to drag you into their chaos, pause and remind yourself, I choose silence, I choose peace, I choose boundaries. In that moment, you'll realize that real strength doesn't come from fighting battles. It comes from choosing which battles are worth your energy, and most of them are not. Life is full of challenges, difficult people, unfair situations, and painful experiences. Often when these moments strike, we feel powerless. We feel like victims of circumstances we cannot control, and in some cases the pain is real. People hurt us, betray us, criticize us, or try to break us down. But here's the truth you must never forget. While you cannot always control what happens to you, you can always control how you choose to respond. The greatest shift you can make is this: stop seeing yourself as a victim and start becoming the guardian of your own peace. Being a victim feels natural at first. When someone insults you, you think, they ruined my day. When someone betrays you, you think, they destroyed my trust. When life gets tough, you think, why does this always happen to me? And in that moment, you hand over your power to external forces. Your emotions, your peace, your joy, they all become dependent on the behavior of others or the unpredictability of life. But the truth is, peace is not something the world gives you. It's something you guard within yourself. And the moment you recognize that, you shift from being a powerless victim to becoming the powerful protector of your own inner world. Think of it like owning a beautiful home. If you left the doors unlocked, anyone could walk in, strangers, thieves, troublemakers. But if you install locks, fences, and alarms, you protect your space. In the same way, your mind and heart are your inner home. If you don't guard them, toxic people and painful events will walk right in and take over. But when you set boundaries, manage your thoughts, and refuse to give away your energy, you stand as the guardian of your peace. Let me share an example. Imagine a co-worker who constantly criticizes you. If you see yourself as a victim, you'll spend your day feeling angry, hurt, and defeated. But if you shift your mindset, you'll say, I cannot stop their negativity, but I can guard my peace. Their words are a reflection of them, not me. In that moment, you've taken back your power. You're no longer the victim. You're the guardian. This shift doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending that everything is fine. It means refusing to let pain define you. It means acknowledging hurt but not letting it control your future. It means reminding yourself every single day, I own my peace, and I will not give it away freely. Becoming the guardian of your peace also means choosing wisely where you invest your energy. Victims dwell on problems. Guardians focus on solutions. Victims ask, why me? Guardians ask, what can I do differently? Victims replay pain over and over. Guardians redirect their thoughts toward healing and growth. This mindset shift changes everything. Toxic people lose control over you because you no longer hand them the keys to your emotions. Life's challenges stop crushing you because you stop seeing them as punishments and start seeing them as opportunities to grow stronger. Your peace becomes untouchable, not because the world changes, but because you changed. Remember this, no one can steal your peace without your permission. The insults, the betrayal, the chaos, they may knock at your door, but you decide whether they get in. Stop waiting for others to protect you or for life to get easier. Stand tall. Guard your peace as if it is the most valuable treasure you own, because it is. So from today, make this shift. Don't live as a victim of people or circumstances. Rise as the guardian of your mind, your emotions, and your soul. Because when you guard your peace, you guard your power. And when you guard your power, nothing and no one can break you. Picture yourself walking through life with a backpack strapped tightly to your shoulders. At first, it feels light and manageable. But every negative word, every insult, every betrayal, every toxic experience gets tossed into that bag like a heavy stone. Over time, the weight grows heavier and heavier. Eventually, you find yourself exhausted, not because of the journey, but because of the load you are carrying. The truth is simple, it's not the path that breaks you, it's the weight. That's why you must learn to drop the weight of negativity, so you can protect both your energy and your freedom. Negativity comes in many forms. Sometimes it's the harsh criticism of others, sometimes it's toxic relationships, and sometimes it's your own self-doubt. Left unchecked, these thoughts and influences drain your energy. They leave you tired, bitter, and unable to move forward with joy. But here's the powerful truth. You don't have to carry everything life throws at you. You have the right to put the bag down. Dropping negativity doesn't mean pretending bad things don't happen. It means refusing to let them live rent-free in your mind. For example, someone might say something hurtful to you. You can choose to carry those words for days, replaying them over and over, feeling smaller each time. Or you can choose to release them by reminding yourself, their words belong to them, not to me. When you let go, you free your energy for something better. Your energy is your most precious resource. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you dwell on consumes energy. When you spend it on negativity, you have nothing left for growth, creativity, or joy. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. Just as you wouldn't allow someone to steal money from your wallet, don't allow negativity to steal energy from your spirit. Freedom, too, is tied to letting go. Think about how heavy grudges feel, holding on to anger, resentment, or the desire for revenge chains you to the past. The people who hurt you may move on, but you remain stuck in the prison of your own bitterness. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing their behavior. It means refusing to let their actions control your future. When you drop the grudge, you unlock your own freedom. Let's bring this to a daily level. Imagine waking up every morning with two choices: to pick up the backpack of yesterday's negativity, or to leave it behind and step into the day light and free. If you choose to carry it, you'll walk slowly, bent under the weight. If you choose to drop it, your steps will be lighter, your mind clearer, and your heart stronger. Dropping negativity also means being intentional about the voices you allow around you. Some people constantly complain, criticize, or gossip. Spending too much time with them is like inhaling smoke. You can't help but be poisoned. Protecting your energy sometimes requires stepping away, setting boundaries, and choosing to surround yourself with positivity. This is not always easy. Negativity is sticky. It clings to us because our minds are wired to focus on problems more than blessings. But with practice, you can train your mind to let go. Through gratitude, meditation, journaling, or simply pausing to breathe and remind yourself of your worth, you begin to lighten the load. Remember, life is a journey, and you cannot walk far if you are weighed down by unnecessary baggage. Every time you let go of a negative thought, a toxic relationship, or a painful memory, you become freer. You protect your energy, you regain your power. So make the conscious choice today, drop the weight. Stop carrying stones that were never meant for you. Protect your energy, guard your freedom, and walk forward lighter, stronger, and unstoppable. Because the lighter your spirit, the farther you can go.